Hey everyone, this is Disc Junkie and welcome to another in-depth look at a really unusual case design. And I know I usually make reviews and unboxings on movie-related items exclusively, or at least, primarily. But today we're going to take a look at a really strange press kit for Jeep Wrangler, which dates back to 2007. And so I'm generally not that into press kits that aren't really movie or game related, but this thing caught my eye back in the day when I was a Jeep Wrangler owner and I sort of wanted to get all kinds of cool items that was related to Jeep, because that's sort of what Jeep does to you. It's a Jeep thing and I can't really explain it. And so I decided to pick this up and I sort of forgot about it, but I thought we would actually take a in-depth look at this because it is actually quite a brilliant and well-designed packaged. So first of all, we actually got a limited sort of metal box here. I don't know if this is aluminum probably, but you can see that it actually has a cutout. Got the classic sort of Jeep logo or insignia with like all of the grill stripes. And it's sort of hard to pick up in this light, but if you look closely, there is actually a bit of a Jeep sort of front there in the back, which is actually a lenticular image, but we're going to take a closer look at that in a little bit. So I'm just go ahead and turn this over. Nothing on the back. Got some solid little hinges here and even a little lock thingy, which isn't actually a real lock. You essentially just pull it like so and it's open. So I'm going to do this with two hands. Just pull it and twist it like that, and then you can slide it out. So this is actually pretty practical. I mean, this is essentially a keychain you can use for your keys. So I wouldn't mind using this. Quite a simple and practical design. It also has the little Jeep Wrangler branding there. So then we flip up this little latch. And inside is this. So we do have a bit of a package in here, which we're going to take a look at. But first I want to take a look at what's actually in the lid. So then just go ahead and pull this out. And so here you can see what I was trying to show you earlier, which is that there's actually a lenticular image here. So here you can essentially see the front of a Jeep in the darkness there. And they've also added some lenticular shots of a variety of sort of Jeep eyes, I suppose you could say, because I think at this time Jeep was very much focused, I suppose, on like the angry grill or the angry eyes, and this is obviously something that they're still doing, but I suppose at this time this was probably very much a thing which people wanted. And sorry, it's a bit hard to get this to show correctly. There we go. So yeah, you can see that there is, I think it's essentially just two images. Yeah, just two images, like the angry version or the non-angry version. But yeah, and this is essentially positioned on a piece of foam, which I don't know if you want to see that, but it's there. So that's why this is a bit sort of wobbly. I don't know if there's a point to that. I suppose maybe it's supposed to show the image more easily. I have no idea. And so that is there. Intended to be seen through the little slot in the front, and you definitely can see it, but I'm not really sure if it's picking up in this lighting. But in regular lighting for your eyes, you will be able to see this. So let's go ahead and move over to the actual package. Got a small chain attached to this so we can pull it up. Not really the safest construction. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this little cardboard or paper flap will break at, like, maybe your third attempt at this. But if nothing else, it's a cool design. I definitely would have preferred if the overall box inside here wasn't just papery, even it's like thin cardboard. They should have made this more sturdy so you could essentially keep this. I feel like this is meant to break. The fact that mine isn't broken is probably just blind luck from whoever had this, probably just opened it once. It's got a trail rating sticker, which you essentially have to destroy or rip through if you want to open this. I don't mind that. But I think it's always nice if you have packages which you can restore to their former glory. I mean, it's always a shame when you have to break something unless it's sort of like part of the whole thing. Like, let's say that you have a true crime show and you have like evidence sticker or a do not break seal. That's kind of funny in its own way because it's sort of part of the design. But here, just adding a trail rated sticker on top that you have to sort of, you know, cut through, I don't see the point of that. You know, you could have just as easily added a trail rated stamp here. It wouldn't have made things any sort of different, and then you would be able to keep this in the mint condition, so to speak. But in case, I'm rambling. So let's fold this up, and then we have slide out essentially 3 little packages, or little, I don't know what you would call these, books or pamphlets, whatever. So this says break free, essentially it's a fold out, Jeep Wrangler 2007, and that's it. Then we got a army green one, and here we got a really nice sort of design with like a slight embossing to the text, which I always like. Always think it's nice when they add little details like that. So here we got a history of the civilian Jeep. Let's see this. Sorry if I'm a bit unsure of what I'm doing, but I haven't really gone through this in ages. Okay, so I think this is essentially glued down, so it didn't look like it was, but I think it is. So yeah, here we got a small pamphlet going through the history of the civilian Jeep. I think it's pretty cool, dating back to like the army stuff. So yeah, it's pretty nice. Then we got a brown one which just says more Jeep. This also has the similar design, little raised lettering there. And there we go. So this is the 2007 Jeep Wrangler table of contents. So let's just go ahead and flip through this. I'm just doing this in reverse because it's easier for me to flip that way. So here's essentially a whole bunch of specs. Jeep Wrangler 2007 specs. And here you can see they actually have quite an interesting choice for like, sort of hard to pick up on this. But yeah, there's essentially this sort of see-through, sort of like the paper you have when you're trying to make stuff in the oven. I don't know what that's called, but like the yeah, you know what I mean. I don't know what it's called in English. So it's kind of nice. And I'm not gonna get overly detailed. Just want to show you like the general look of this. And then lastly, we have the press information CD-ROM. Nice little sort of mustardy yellow type folder. Folds out, and there you actually have a CD-ROM. So yeah, wasn't expecting that. Thought this was going to be an all sort of physical book or pamphlet thing. But no, there is actually a CD-ROM in there. Which I gotta be honest, I haven't looked at. I just bought this because I thought the packaging design was so ridiculously cool. And so, yeah, just take a bit of a close-up look at that. But aside from that, that is pretty much everything in the package. So, yeah, I wanted to make a quick video about this because it's one of those packages which I keep having on my shelf. And I always think like, yeah, I should probably make a video about that. And then I completely forget about it. So, like I've mentioned in some of my previous videos, I'm gonna try to get back to making more classic unboxings like this to talk about packaging design. Not really sure if this is gonna be like a series of its own in case I'm branding it or whatever. Because I love branding, very much like Jeep is a memorable brand. I like making brands of my own, naming every series something, and yeah, you know what this is. You probably followed me for years, and in case you haven't, then shame on you, because I think this is actually quite interesting content, so hopefully you do too. But that's it. I want to say thank you very much for watching, and as usual, hope to see you all next time.